Hello again and welcome to Pearl Magazine. In 2021, the government rolled out the Northern Metropolis development strategy, which includes resuming a few hundred hectares of privately owned fish ponds to develop a conservation wetland park. However, some property speculators who had bought up fish ponds a decade ago are now hoping to profit more from the government's future development. Reporter Alice Khan went down to the hot zone of speculation in Hu Ho Kwai wetland to check on some fish ponds that were destroyed and the different methods landowners are using to claim more compensation going forward. 80-year-old fish pond tenant Lai Lo Chow is renting 7 fish ponds in Shampo She wetlands in Sam Tin in the Northern New Territories. These wetlands will be resumed by the government to create conservation parks.
The compensation amount depends on the capacity of the fish pond. This pond can raise 20,000 caddies of fish.
Lai estimates he would receive $5 million in compensation.
It is not enough for me to buy a toilet. Many are waiting for resumption, hoping for more compensations.
But fish pond tenants may be forced to leave before receiving compensation.
Rents have doubled. Some landlords even say, "I won't rent it to you."
In 2021, the government proposed to establish a 2,000-hectare wetland conservation park covering fish ponds and wetlands in Nam Sang Wai, Sam Poi She, and Hu Ho Kwai. It will also resume a total of 700 hectares of private fish ponds and wetlands. Hu Ho Kwai is a 228-hectare wetland next to Shenzhen. A technology park will be built next to this conservation area. A news report in 2018 revealed 10 groups of local and mainland investors who were not in the fishery industry quietly splashed $470 million to buy up a third of over 2,000 land lots in Hu Ho Kwai over the last decade. Up to now, the government has no details on the conservation park, but the landscape of Hu Ho Kwai is already changing. In a commonly used map app, the green part, fish ponds and marshes of Hu Ho Kwai, were clearly seen back in 2020. But now, some fish ponds seem to have vanished. Lam Chu Ying, a conservationist, brought us up a mountain to check it out.
Some of them, they actually bring large quantities of pebbles pouring into the pond. Here you can see one of the pond practically all filled in. And then one of it is half filled. They are ponds that have been filled for quite a while, a year or so. So a lot is happening.
Then how many ponds are actually affected?
Apparently, there are something like 5 to 6 ponds which are being filled in or have been filled.
He says speculators are buying ponds so they can tell the government they will turn them into residential land to make a profit in the future. These fish ponds along the main road were already partly filled in 2021. Some workers are now filling the nearby fish ponds. Michael Lau, a wetland conservationist, checked out how bad the situation is.
Is it a tile or concrete?
Yeah, I think it's a broken tile, still attached to a lump of concrete. There's a piece of broken marble, probably on the kitchen.
Iron bars and PVC tubes can also be found here, and the fish ponds are abandoned. The vegetation in the pond is overgrown. Lau says a lot of illegal dumping activities took place as soon as the Northern Metropolis plan was announced.
Raising fish is not going to generate a lot of money, so they destroy the value. They're trying to partly fill up the pond so that they may be able to use them in the future, maybe as storage or even as a brownfield site.
This fish pond on the other side is sitting on government land. It is apparently being destroyed.
It's quite likely that all these land filling and pond filling will be unauthorized development that is illegal. Planning department has got the power to ask the landowner to reinstate the habitat.
But it is not restored yet.
No, not yet.
The landowner denied any intention to destroy.
These ponds have been operated for decades. I'm going to renovate my house. If the government takes it, they have to compensate me.
Did you raise fish here? It seems the vegetation in the pond is overgrown.
It is normal. It is just because I don't take care of it well. I restored some fish ponds over there, some farming land also. The trees, fish, whatever, I will be compensated.
On the map app, we spotted a strip of marsh being turned into dry land in March last year. So we went up to the marsh adjacent to the border.
From here, we can see at the distance, there's some concrete, the white thing, probably construction waste. And they put up black canvas, and next to there are big piles of sand being stored there. So that's highly suspicious and quite likely to be an unauthorized development because the land has been zoned as conservation area. So that would be illegal change of land use.
Well, and also in this area, now we're standing it. Is this also some illegal dumping over here?
Yes, you can see that's part of the marsh, and then people have put in very big concrete slabs, and then put sand and asphalt on top of it.
Michaelau suspects the landowner changed the land use because of economic incentive.
There's not much they can do with a marsh, but if it turned into a land, then there's a lot of possibilities of how the land can be used.
We asked this fish pond operator why the landlord was reclaiming the marsh into land.
Is it a greenhouse?
That's the headquarters of a flower nursery. It is for growing mushrooms. It is for storage, grow mushrooms, just like me, grow vegetables.
Some grow trees on the pond on purpose. To get more compensation.
Another owner turned the land next to a fish pond into a campsite and built this structure on the land. In September 2022, the owner was fined $38,000 for illegal filling of land. The planning department also ordered the owner to reinstate the site, but the owner still hasn't done so. LIBOR Research worked out the speculators in Hu Hoc Wai bought the land for roughly $87 to $115 per square foot. The average price is $92 per square foot. If the government resumes the land, the investors could reap 6 to 13 times of profit. The government would pay a total of $95 billion in compensation to the landowners. Owners of land that can be developed will receive about $1,200 in compensation from the government. Those for conservation will get half.
We're talking about doubling the compensation rate. So if you own 1 million feet of fish pond, for example, that is zoned as a conservation area, so then you would have a very huge incentive to destroy or lower the ecological value of the area.
These are speculators who are hoping to collect money in one way or another. In terms of real estate development, say 2-3 decades down the road, when this place will become connected to Shenzhen.
Land researcher Lau Hoi Lung monitors farmland destruction. This morning, he took us to a dumping site. This site is 5,000 square meters, including 500 square meters of government land. It used to be farmland.
And what is the height of this construction waste?
You can see that layer of construction waste is taller than me, so I think that would be around 2 meters in height.
Oh, there's a lots of
concrete and tiles. So obviously these are construction waste.
It is zoned as agricultural land. In 2020, the landlord applied to the town planning board to change the land use to temporarily open storage of construction materials and a warehouse office.
They apply for some village houses. That's the economic return would be 100 times more than growing vegetables.
However, the application was rejected. They reapplied again, but the landlord later withdrew the application.
The planning department has demanded the owner here to reinstate, but as we can see now, that illegal dumping is still going on.
Lau urged the planning department to enforce the law to stop these illegal activities. We asked the planning department for a response to our investigation. They sent back an email saying, "For the dry land in the marsh, it says no unauthorized development was found. Planning department is keeping the site under close monitoring and will take enforcement action if unauthorized development is observed." The fish ponds fall within the conservation area. Any filling of land, pond, or excavation of land requires planning permission. So far, no planning permission for such activities has been granted. In the past few months, enforcement actions were taken against 6 cases in Hu Hoc Wai. For the Mao Tso Long site, the department monitored the site from May 2022 to mid-December 2023. No unauthorized development was found. After the break, we check out some of the hot toy trends. Stay with us. Welcome back to Pearl Magazine. The Hong Kong Trade Development Council hosted the 50th edition of the Toys and Games Fair. It's a bellwether for the toy industry and exports. Zella Chin reports on whether overseas buyers are placing orders and what new toys are coming to stores.
A miniature Batmobile. Robots, they're more than meets the eye. An itty-bitty prowling dinosaur. More than 2,600 exhibitors from 35 regions showcase their newest games and gadgets at the Toys, Baby Products, and Stationery trade fairs at the Convention Center in Wan Chai. Overseas visitors were looking for opportunities.
Have you seen anything here that you're interested in buying?
I'm currently just browsing, to be honest. The toy industry is rather new to me.
And have you found any toys?
There is a whole bunch of stuff that caught my eye, and I look forward to carry them in our chain of stores.
Johnny C. is a second generation running a family toy manufacturing business. It specializes in making educational products in science and technology.
Okay, so Johnny, what new toys are you introducing to the market?
Okay, so this year we're spending more effort into lower age group toy. So this is a microscope in a younger age group. So
How old is this for?
This is also a 3+ age group toy. And we make it into animal character to make it more fun looking.
And why are you going to a younger age group?
Okay, so going into the younger age group help us explore more potential markets. As the 8+ years old age group are more or less play with video games and pets more than physical toys.
Are your products environmentally friendly?
Yes, so for all our new products, we have no longer used any plastic part in it. So no plastic bag, so we only use paper now. So
you saved on plastic?
Yes.
The company is headquartered in Hong Kong with the factory in Zhongshan. It exports products to 110 countries, and occasionally the toys are transshipped through the city. Johnny said his toy exports dropped by nearly 25% in 2023 compared with 2022.
There are a lot of customers that they overbought a lot of stocks in 2022. So in 2023, a lot of customers are saying that they couldn't finish selling their previous stock due to the inflation and also the interest rate. There are a lot of concern when parents are buying toys for kids.
While Johnny's sales dropped in 2023, his profit margins improved.
We do see that material cost has dropped a lot. So, and also the exchange rate between US dollar and RMB has also given us a good favor. So overall, even though that our sales has dropped, but the margins has goes up.
He's met 30% more buyers at this fair than last year. He says the quality of the buyers are better.
We will receive a lot more feedback and a lot more inquiry than last year as well. And also we see that there are some customers from Russia that they start to come to Hong Kong Toy Fair.
When the fair ends, the buyers will review the products and prices, and they will start placing orders in 2 months. Johnny is expecting more orders this year than last year.
Over this fair, we actually also talked to a lot of customers. They're quite optimistic with 2024. The interest rate has reached the peak already, so a lot of families, they can allocate more money for buying toys for kids in 2024.
And Johnny plans to put more resources and marketing on developing the Middle East business.
We find out Middle East countries, although they don't have a lot of populations, but their purchasing power is very good. So for example, in American, there may be, each family, they might buy 5 toys per year. But in Middle East country, they buy up to 15 toys per year in Middle East country.
Simeon Wu, an economist with the Trade Development Council, said Hong Kong toy exports to the Middle East grew by 80% in the first 11 months of 2023, year on year.
Our government is actively promoting the Middle East markets, and some of our exporters are willing to explore these new markets and become the trailblazers.
But exports to major markets such as mainland China, US, UK, and the European markets have been declining. Overall, toy exports in the first 11 months of 2023 was $16.3 billion, a drop of nearly 18% year over year.
Uncertainty of the global economy, featuring high inflation and high interest rate, also affect the disposable income for households, which is likely to cutting their spending on non-necessary goods and like toys.
People with the higher disposable income are a target segment for the toy industry.
Kiddo is the combination of 2 words, kid and adults. Okay. Yeah, so kiddos in short, it means that adults who would like to act like children as kids.
So they're grown up yet.
Yeah, exactly. And they would like to spend money on the toys.
Like this?
This, exactly.
Oh my gosh.
And this kind of collectibles is also some trending products.
Kenneth Zheng sells her toy vehicles to adults who are kids at heart. She's introducing an upgraded version of a remote-controlled truck at the trade show.
It's magnetic and take onto it, and then the top is charging.
It's charging right now?
Yeah, it's charging right now. Yeah, and also the trimming and the turning is more sensitive compared to the first version.
So what export markets would like something like this?
For this, still we are going to not only for the Hong Kong and Macau region, but we are expanding to the rest of the world, the markets, the global markets.
Kenneth co-founded her Hong Kong-based company in 2016. The products are manufactured in the mainland and exported to Hong Kong and Macau. Her toy sales increased by 30% in 2023 compared to a year earlier.
So we are lucky and happy to see the COVID-19 is over and no more lockdown. The tourists come to Hong Kong, and that's why the sales of the toys equivalently rose a lot.
She is finalizing license agreements and plans to expand her product range. It's an opportunity for her to recoup business in other Asia markets, such as Taiwan, Japan, Malaysia, and Singapore.
Compared to before the pandemic, the sales is still not yet to meet the target and back to the normal. We are happy to see once we got the license, and then we can restart and back to normal, the regular sales that in Asian countries.
This Chinese toy manufacturer is attending the trade fair to look for overseas buyers. It specializes in making building blocks that can be assembled into elaborate structures.
So what new products are you showing at the fair?
Yeah, this is the Sanrio new products. In this series, we call it circus. Like this one, you see the kids, and
oh, very cute. Now, how old is it for?
It is for 6 years old plus. Yeah.
So they have to build all these little things.
Surely they will build them by themselves.
Oh, wow.
And then they'll have the play fun as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what export markets would be interested in this?
Because this IP from Japan, so I think more Asia countries will like this product.
The 30-year-old company has been focused on sales to the China market. Then, about 5 years ago, it started selling products overseas to follow the nation's Belt and Road policy. It makes different toys for different markets.
Which Jay Chou is a pop singer. In Mandarin-speaking cultures, people, they will know him very well. And they will develop the product according to them to attract the fan base of this audience. To going abroad, for example, we're going to Korea. We are develop the product like the Reply 1988, which is a drummer, very famous in their local market. So we are trying to launch the product at the end of this year.
And it plans to increase trade with Russia and Eastern European countries this year, because China is Russia's largest trading partner. So the company sees a lot of potential in that region. Overall, Johnny C. is optimistic for 2024.
So we believe that 2024 will pick up some sales. They are ready to buy another round of new toys, and they are more willing to try new products after COVID. So we believe in 2024 we will have a much better year than 2023.
That's our show for this week. Join us on Pearl Magazine, same time next week. Bye for now.